Okay, well, hello, hey, buenos dias or buenas tardes, everybody. Welcome to welcome to the class. Welcome to the summer session. It's me, Profesor Cañedo here, and I'm going to take a few minutes and tell you a little bit more about the class. I'll give you more of the ins and outs. I'll go over all of the key features. This will be the first of several of these what I call nuts and bolts videos, in which I give you detailed information about all the various elements in the class. Some videos will be shorter, some little bit longer, and this one will be more of a general overview of all the various things about the class. Undoubtedly, I think all of you, or the majority of you so far, have had a chance to look over everything. But for those of you who are maybe just now getting going with everything, maybe how to take care of your stuff with your other classes, or just now getting the books, or figuring out where to find the best parking spots, and you're just now getting started into the class. Don't worry. You know, we're just really getting going, getting started. So without further ado, let me go and tell you a little bit more about the class. But first, a couple quick things about myself. Okay, well, well, first off, I'm Professor Oscar Cañedo. You can call me Señor Cañedo, Professor Cañedo, or Profesor Cañedo, El Profesor, if you wish. Any of those are fine. I've been here at Southwestern off and on since the 97-98 school year, so I've been here for quite a long time. But I've been doing mostly the online sections of this class, the 141, since about 2010. I do a few sections of this class on campus, and I've done a few sections of the 142, but for the most part, 141 has been my bread and butter, so to speak, for the past few years, and it's a class that I really enjoy teaching, and I look forward to teaching more and more sections for the next few semesters. Okay, and quick things about myself. Native of the South Bay, actually. Went to school in Chula Vista, so I'm a graduate of Hilltop High. Born and raised in National City. My school was UCSD for anthropology, and then San Diego State for Latin American studies. A lot of the stuff I did at San Diego State goes along perfectly with what we're doing here, especially with the Aztecs, the Maya, all of Mesoamerica, and other things about me. I also teach at Grossmont College, and I do a lot of these classes, the Chicano Studies classes at Mesa College, and and the last thing I'll say about myself is you might have picked up in some of the early announcements, because right now, of course, you see the opening first announcements for the class. I actually live in Riverside County. I live near where Temecula and Murrieta have the boundary, but I'm in a patch that's actually outside of both of those cities. It's an area called French Valley. Been out here for 3.5 years. It's going to be 4 years coming up in the fall. And even though it's much different than National City, I really enjoy being out here. It does get hot quite a bit, and for keeping track of the weather, it's really going to be quite crazy. Temperatures like 109, 110 by Sunday or Monday, so a good thing the AC is working properly. So that's a little bit about myself that I want to say right now. I'll say a few more things undoubtedly for the rest of the session through the announcements and in some more of these nuts and bolts videos. So let's go ahead and get on with this, and I'll quickly point out all the main things about this class in the rest of the video. So every time you log in the class, you'll see the announcements, and I'll have announcements virtually on a daily basis. Maybe Wednesdays will be the days that there won't be any announcements, but for sure you can expect announcements on Mondays, Fridays, and Mondays, Fridays, and Thursdays. And maybe a few Tuesdays too, but at least 3 to 4 times a week there'll be announcements. So please keep track of this section, at least on a daily basis, to find out what's going on here. Okay, here's a little bit more about my bio information. There's me and one of my feline pals. That's my old boy Nick. He's been with me for his entire life. He'll be 17 coming up in the fall. He's slowing down quite a bit, but he's still moving quite strong for an old boy, so to speak. Okay, information in which to reach me. The best way to reach me for this session, everybody, is use message for Professor here in Blackboard. Don't worry about contacting me here for the rest of the session. If you want a faster response within at least a 24-hour time frame during the school week, that's from Monday through Friday, make sure you use message for Professor. And of course, here's the information. Here is the excuse me. Just click in here in this section to find the find my name from the list of people in the class, type in your message, click submit, and you're good to go. So everybody, please use this for the rest of the session to contact me, and I'll guarantee that I'll reply to you on a much more rapid and efficient manner compared to if you try to contact me through my email. If you do contact me through my email, I will get back to you, but for a better response, for a faster response, always use message for professor. Okay, syllabus and schedule. You've already gone through this, so I'm not going to go over everything in detail. Undoubtedly, you've already looked at this, or you've at least glanced through it. Here's what the class is going to be all about. You have quizzes, assignments. I'll go through each of these in the respective sections. Participations, that we have a discussion forum, a component. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes here. Textbooks. Make sure you have both Ancient Mexico and also Between the Conquests by my friend and colleague Mike Ornelas from Mesa College. If any of you are going through a DSS services, please contact me immediately for accommodation. I know a couple of you have already contacted me about that. Thank you for letting me know. I will definitely get back to you within the next day or two to confirm your accommodations. Plagiarism. Obviously, I think something I need to discuss, need to mention here, but I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. If you need assistance with writing, tutoring, all of those services, plenty of resources here on campus. So just consult the information here in the syllabus. Go to the LRC for assistance. Here's the course grading structure. Everything's pretty much broken down on a fairly even plan. Quizzes, we'll count the most in the class. I'll talk more about the quizzes in just a bit here. We've got one quiz coming up very soon. I'll talk more about that a little bit later on in this video. And then the assignments. I'll talk more about the assignments when I open up the assignment section in just a few minutes. All right, here's the breakdown of the schedule from this week all the way to the final week, to the 7th week of the session. This tells you what's coming up and what's happening in terms of readings, PowerPoint programs, films, when the quizzes are going to be taking place, and also when the respective discussion groups are to post comments in the respective forums. So I'll point out more about that in just a bit. But let me quickly scroll down, pointing out the topics we're looking at. So this week we're looking at the Olmecs, the Maya, Teotihuacan. So we're combining the pre-classic and the classic periods this week. Next week, start exploring the Toltecs, the Aztecs. That's the post-classic, and then coming up in the 3rd week, at the end of the month, we start getting into Spain and other European influences too. So a little bit about the Portuguese, the French, and the English. We'll get into those guys too, but for the most part, the Spanish will be the major player that we'll look at for about the midway point here in the class. So here's a listing for your readings and also your articles. PDF files, PowerPoint programs, all things are located in the learning modules. I'll show you those in just a bit. Week 4 we get into Spanish, California, and New Mexico. It's a little bit more about Spanish colonization. Week 5, we start getting into some of the changes going on in Europe and how they affect the Americas. That is the English colonies and of course the Spanish colonies. Mexico, how it's being transformed by the end of the 18th century, beginning of the 19th century. Of course, that's when people like Father Hidalgo and Morelos come on the scene. We'll get into those guys around that time, and even more so coming up into week 6 and finishing off with week 7 as we get into Manifest Destiny, Slavery, the U.S.-Mexico War, the gold rush in California, topics which pertain more to our area, to our region, to more localized topics. So quite a lot of stuff here. So I'll let you go through all of this in your own time, but clearly, it's quite a lot of ground to cover in these next 7 weeks. But every week with my announcements and also some of my videos, I'll of course keep you updated in terms of what's going on, due dates, what to be looking out for, when the deadlines for the quizzes, all of that fun stuff. So definitely look through all of this, everybody. And at the beginning of each week, each Monday, I'll review some of the topics. I'll preview some of the topics in terms of what you'll be looking out for as the week unfolds. Okay, again, announcements. That's where you're going to be looking at. The first thing you're going to be seeing when you log into the class. Uh, and messages for Professor. Again, that's the best way to contact me for each and every one of your questions or concerns about the class until the end of the session in the end of July. Okay, I'll quickly talk about the assignments. I'm not going to go over these in a lot of detail. I will have more detailed videos about the majority of these assignments, but let me just quickly give you a quick overview about these at this time. Discussion board, I'll get into that in just a bit here, so don't worry about this right now. I'll hold off on that for another couple of minutes. EBSCO hosts a review assignment. What you do here is you're going to go into the EBSCO article database that's available here at Southwestern. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to post the link here. I'll have a link here for you real soon to access EBSCO from the Southwestern College library. So again, more details about that coming soon. But the quick point about this here is that you're to review an article from the EBSCO database and give me a combined commentary summary. And this is going to be due on Friday, July 15th. So I'll have a nuts and bolts video for this for you very soon. If I don't get this for you by the end of this week, for sure beginning of next week, I'll have a nuts and bolts video about the EBSCO assignment. The book review assignment is due the week after that on Friday, July 22nd. You're to choose a book pertaining to the scope of the class. And by far the most popular choice have been on Mesoamerica, so about the Aztecs, about the Maya, about the Olmecs, about Teotihuacan, or if you get into colonial Mexico, those are good topics too. The U.S.-Mexico War has been a popular topic as well. The American Southwest, Spanish California, Spanish New Mexico. Those topics. I'll have more information. I actually have more information about this on the PDF file. Oh, one thing I should mention too before I forget. When you go in here, make sure you download these assignment worksheets, everybody. I think I've had cases in the past where people forget to see this, and when they turn in the assignments don't really aren't really well prepared because people forgot to look at the assignment worksheet. But so don't forget that. Look at this first, but also download all these PDF files to give you a better idea on how the assignment is to be constructed. So between the nuts and bolts videos and these PDF files, these will tell you everything you need to know in terms of what you need to do for the for the assignment. Oh, and all your assignments, everybody. At least the EBSCO, the book review, and the U.S.-Mexico War assignment, which I'll get to in just a second. Make sure you use both a title page and a works cited page. So you're going to have 2 pages with that preliminary information. And then on top of that, it's the 5 pages of text that you're going to be 5 to 7 pages of text that you're going to be utilizing. But I'll talk more about that in more detailed videos coming up very, very soon. Okay, mission system SLO exercise. This is something new that I just added to the class for this session. I'll have a detailed video about this coming up. If I don't get this video for you by next week, for sure by the 3rd week, I'll give you more instructions on how this assignment works. So it's something new. I'm still working out the bugs, so to speak. But when I give you the nuts and bolts video about that assignment, you'll have a better sense of what you need to do. And the last major assignment that's going to be due is going to be due on Thursday, July 28th, the last date of the session. This is in which you're going to review articles from the U.S.-Mexico War website, from the PBS website that coincided with a program that PBS did about the war back in 1998. I'll have nuts and bolts video for this too, but you can definitely look at the PDF file too to get a sense on how this assignment works. So before I leave this section here, let me quickly point out a couple important points. These first 2 assignments are due on Fridays, July 25th and July 22nd. But if you note over here, the SLO is going to be due Monday, July 25th. So pay attention to that. Don't think that everything is going to be due on Fridays. The first 2 assignments are due on Fridays, but this SLO is due on Monday, July 25th, and the U.S.-Mexico War on Thursday, July 28th. So pay attention to that. I'll definitely give you more reminders about all of that stuff as we get closer toward the end of the session. Okay, weekly modules. Let me quickly open up the first module for you. This tells you everything you need to know in terms of what's going on in the class. I've got overview essays which give you a preview of the readings, and some of the modules actually have old videos of myself in which I talk about the readings and the topics. And in these modules is where you'll find the PowerPoint programs, the PDF files, and also links to the videos for the week. So if you've already looked in here, you know it's in here right now. Page 1 is an overview about the module, about the topics. Some of these modules will get these overviews will get much longer in length. You'll start to see that immediately with the second week, and more so with the third week. And in some of the modules, I'll actually insert, actually have old videos of myself taken from about 2-3 years ago. So they're kind of dated now. I've got to make new videos soon, but for now, these older videos will work just fine. If you move over to the second page, I'll have the textbook readings, and then over in the third page, I do have where you find the PowerPoint files, links to articles, and also the Maya videos. So if you click these right here, you'll download these. Those will be the files that you need to look at. And then, as for the National Geographic articles, just click these links here. That'll take you to the articles from about 2006, 2007. And then for the Maya film, just click this link here, and that'll take you to the Maya film. Each film comes along with either a detailed summary that I wrote up myself, or may include transcripts. So it depends on the topic and depends on the week, but there'll be some written information to go along with what each film is all about. So this is the first week module. Every other week, of course, has modules too. So as you go through each week, especially once you get started with readings on Mondays, definitely get into the modules and take a look at everything. Okay, let's get out of this and go to the discussion boards. And I think all of you have seen this section already. Two areas I want to point out here. Introductions. Keep introducing yourselves. Tell me a little bit about who you are, your interests, why you're taking the class, and any other pertinent information that you'd like to express. I'll reply to each and every one of you at the end of this week. General form, any concerns or questions you have about anything, and I see that there are 2 new questions. I'll take a look at that today. Just post in here. These are things in which you can ask me or ask the rest of the class. It's basically a meeting place, so to speak, in which anybody and everybody can share his or her thoughts or concerns about the class. So it's a public forum. So if you have a question to me, everybody else in the class will see it. But for more private conversation, definitely use messages for Professor. Also in general forum, that's where I'm going to put study guides, grade skills, and other pertinent information. So information that I don't post in the announcements, I will put in general forum. And chief among them will be the study guides for the various quizzes. Okay, don't worry about this stuff right here just yet. I'm going to arrange all the 2 main discussion groups in the next couple days. So coming up by tomorrow, by Thursday, all that information will be ready to go, and I'll have a detailed video about how the forums work coming up toward the end of this week. So most likely on Friday, I'll have a video in which I describe in detail how discussion forum process works. So don't worry about this just yet, everybody. Hold off for another couple days. By Friday, for sure, there'll be a lot more detail about how this process works. All right, quizzes. We're going to have weekly quizzes, and these quizzes will start on Fridays and go to the subsequent Tuesdays. So, for example, the first quiz is going to be coming up on Friday, June 17th. I'll open it up first thing in the morning, like 10 a.m., and it'll stay open to the following Tuesday. So that'll put us on Tuesday, June 20. I'm kind of losing count with it. Kind of losing count with the days here, everybody. It's been a while since I've taken math, so just bear with me here. Okay, yeah, Tuesday, June 21st. So from Friday through Tuesday, that'll be the time frame in which the quiz will be open. And when you take the quiz, you will have a 2.5 hour time frame to complete it. So once you start the quiz, make sure you have a 2.5 hour block to take the quiz. And get it within that time, because when you take the quiz, you can pause the quiz and then come back to it later, but the timer keeps running. So if you're taking the quiz, if we're going to the quiz from say 45 minutes straight, and you want to take a break to go get some coffee, use the restroom or whatever, or go feed the kitties, go feed the dogs. Go feed your iguana or whatever. You can do that, but make sure it's only for a short amount of time, because when you come back, the timer will have elapsed for the time, whether it's 10 minutes, 15. So keep your breaks as short as possible, and come back to your quiz right away, because when you start the quiz, the timer won't stop. So for example, if you take the quiz, say on Monday at 8 p.m., the timer will stop at Monday at 10:30 p.m. So be aware that everybody, you can pause the quiz, but the timer doesn't stop. So just be aware of that for the rest of the session. Of the 7 quizzes, your best 6 will count toward your total class grade. So it's your average score of your best 6 quizzes that make up that will make up 30% of your overall class grade. Okay, course content. This is an old area that I've had from older sections of the class, going back to when I the first was doing these classes around 2011, 2012. So I'm going to have to eliminate this area soon, because all the course content you need is really in the module section. So I wouldn't really worry too much about touching this area. Again, the main content is in the weekly module section. Okay, course tools. That's just an area that came with Blackboard, so no need to worry about that. And of course, my grades, that's where your grades are located for the class. So after everything you've completed, whether it's the quizzes or the assignments, just go into my grades and check and see how you're doing. All right, and with that, everybody, I think that pretty much wrapped things up. So I think so. I know this video did run a little bit long, but I want to make sure that I covered all the key angles, all the main elements about the class. For a lot of the stuff in the class, I'll have more detailed videos coming up soon. Some of the videos will be new that I'm recording this summer session. And others will be older videos dating back to either last year to maybe 2 years ago, and in some cases, the videos of myself in which I talk about the weekly readings. Those are videos which actually go back to about 2014, even 2013. But all in all, I hope this video did help, and I hope that all my videos and everything else about the class, the announcements, will be helpful too. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you. I'll definitely read and reply to all your announcements, all your messages, your introductions very, very soon. So by the end of the week, I'll start saying hello to each and every one of you. I'm really anxious and happy to be with you guys this summer session. I hope you guys like the class. Again, any concerns, questions, or comments about anything, contact me at Message for Professor, or if it's something that you want to share with the entire class, go to general forum in the discussion board section. All right, with that, everybody, I think we're done. So I'm happy to be with you. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Take care with all your other classes this summer session, and be on the lookout for the heat coming up this weekend. It's going to be really, really intense. So you know the drill. Make sure you have plenty of Powerade, Gatorade, water, iced tea, all of that fun stuff, and be sure to limit your outdoor exercises to an absolute minimum. I will definitely do that this weekend, especially if the temperatures reach about 109, 110. All right, well, that's it from me. That's it from El Profesor, and you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon.